Hey everyone, welcome to the Blue Mug Chat. This is Sonal, your host for the evening. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel, just underscore Sonal on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And don't forget to share this video on your timeline if you would like your friends and family to be a part of this conversation. Every time I bring in a guest on my show, a different aspect of life unfolds in front of me, which actually makes me realize how privileged we are to have this normalcy in our lives because there are so many people out there, doing extraordinary work just to make sure that we feel normal in our day-to-day life. Even as I speak to you, even as I do my bloomer chat with you, and as you go on with your normal life, there are thousands and thousands of armed forces, personnel out there, ensuring that our borders are safe, ensuring that there is no militancy surgency happening, making sure that there is no agitation happening within India, and making sure that we stand united as nation. So I'm dedicating today's episode to all the brave hearts who have lost their life to make sure that we stand integrated as a nation, to make sure that we stand secured as citizens. And today's episode is also about one such martyr, Shaurya Chakra, late Lieutenant Colonel Ajit Bhandarkar, who lost his life while he was fighting with the militants in India-Pakistan border, and his wife Shakuntala Bhandarkar, who with her courage and with her resilience and her dedication stood as a rock solid foundation to her family, making sure she rises from the grief and making sure that she actually gives the foundation which was required during and post his demise. So let me welcome Shakuntala ji with us, and let's travel this journey with her. Welcome to the show, Shakuntala ji.
Namaste, Sonal, and all dear viewers. Happy Security Forces Day. Today is March 4th, and it also happens to be Security Forces Day. So, wish you all a very safe and sound life in your own country.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making sure that we actually, lead this secure life on a daily basis. We take this aspect of our life almost for granted. Like I said, when I do my show and when I bring in a guest, it kind of I'm in awe with the kind of work people are actually bringing into, to bring this life to us. So it's very honored to have you with me on the show. Let me quickly introduce you to everybody out there. I'm pretty sure everybody is really looking forward to hearing from you. So here is Shakuntala ji's introduction. Mrs. Shakuntala Ajit Bhandarkar has done her master's in English B.Ed and a diploma in counseling. Apart from this, she has also done a certification from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore on nurturing creativity and excellence, and has recently completed a course on strategic leadership for schools in a changing environment from IIM Ahmedabad. She has 3 decades of experience as an educator, mentor, and counselor. Currently, she is working as an academic consultant and an instructional designer for many schools. She has been appreciated and honored by various institutions like Infosys, BEML, PSIP, New Horizon Group of Institutions for her contribution in the field of education and women empowerment. She is the wife of late Lieutenant Colonel Ajit P. Bhandarkar, Shaurya Chakra, and a proud mother of Major Nirbhay Bhandarkar and Lieutenant Akshay Bhandarkar. Very honored to have you with us.
Namaste.
Um, so Shakuntala ji, how did your life change when you married late Colonel Ajit Bhandarkar ji? Because you came from a civilian way of life and getting into armed forces life, it's a very different experience. Could you share that experience with us?
Yeah, so I was the only daughter for my parents, and I had two younger brothers. So they would always protect me and escort me as a teenager, as a college going student. And I have never been, left alone. So when I got married to Ajit, it was totally different. I had to be on my own. I had to be fiercely independent, as you may call it. So that was a drastic change. And I belong to the southern part of India, and I had to stay most of the time the northern region. And you know how the weather conditions are. It's highly seasonal. You have extreme winters and extreme summers. So that was also a challenging part for me. So these were the few challenges which I had to face once I married Ajit.
Okay. So you adapted to the military way of life soon enough, or did he prepare you for that kind of a life?
So he had already briefed me, during our initial meeting, saying that we will have a lot of people just, barge into our house for a dinner or, late night dinner. And so, as a young bride, I was prepared for it. My co-sister had given me a recipe book. In those days, we never had YouTubes for reference and all that. So she had meticulously written all the recipes for all the dishes. So I took that book along with me and would refer, for it whenever I was in the kitchen. And initially, I never had a gas stove, so I had to do my cooking on a kerosene stove and all that. So that those were good old days, I must say.
So Shakuntalaji, you were stationed at various border areas where there was a lot of militant insurgency. Like I know I read about you, and you were in Firozpur, which is in the Punjab and Pakistan border. Then the field station at Nathula Brigade in Sikkim. So how
Yes.
was life at these places? Were there any security concerns for you and your family?
Yes, yes. Both the places wherever I was, whether it be in Ferozpur or I was not staying in Sikkim for a long time. It was just for a month. But in Ferozpur, immediately after I reached that place, it was all op Rakshak during that time. There was a lot of militancy, so it was we were never allowed to go out even to the Sadar Bazaar. It would be on a organized trip, like we all ladies would go once in 10 days or once in a week with escorted people personal with us, and we would come back safely. So it was not like, okay, today I wish to go on a shopping trip, I just go into the Sadar. It was not like that. So it was highly protected, and so we were within the cantonment, and our outing would be from our apartment or the quarters to the mess and back to our quarters. That was the only way or socializing we had during that time. And in Sikkim also, it was a field area. So I it was cold, severely cold in winters. So families were allowed only in summers for a month. So I was there in April. Even at
Oh,
that
wow.
time, we were all cladded with woolens, and even in spite of wearing all the warm clothings, I got chilblains and stuff like that. It was tough for me.
So the families were actually allowed just for a month because of the climatic conditions. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And so like, how did the women ensure that they go on about their lives when their husbands were out there in the borders and the families were not allowed? Uh,
Yes. So it's a very good question. The organization is very, very well knit in the army. So while my husband was serving in Sikkim, I was allotted an accommodation at my own preference. That is, I prefer to stay in Chennai with my parents. So I was staying there with my parents, and it's a fully guarded place, the cantonment or the quarters itself, the accommodation, and we have all the facilities there inside the campus itself. And so that's it. And generally, there are some officers there in that area who would keep in touch with us, ask us if we need any help, and they have regular buses to the hospital and all. So it's a very well organized and very, very systematic. They have their buses going to the hospital every morning at around 7:30 p.m. If you opt to go by that, you can go by that and come by that in the afternoon. So it was well protected, and all the facilities were provided to us. So we that is how the army takes care of its families while their husbands, I mean, while the officers are there in the field, doing their jobs.
Right. That sounds wonderful, actually. It seems like you were well taken care of, and also I guess the bonding must be greater within the women who were together when the husbands are not around, because you're all in the same
Yes.
boat. You probably understood each other's situations better. So
Yeah, yes, yes. So, we use the word soul sisters for all of us. So we get along very well. Even till date, I am in touch with all of them. And especially during my pregnancy, the way they took care of me, they would ask me what I felt like eating, what are my cravings. So it's the camaraderie between the officers is there, while the ladies also become a very closely knit family. I must say, second family.
right. And I've always wondered, especially in the armed forces, there is no one place as home, because entire nation is your home, because you get posted at different locations. So how do you keep your roots intact? Or it just becomes a way of life?
See, it is a way of life, if I have to put it. Like many a times, you see me wearing a Lucknowi kurti, and then people think I'm from North, and they ask me, "Are you from the North?" So I immediately say I'm an Indian. It's whether it's North or South, it is immaterial for me. I wear my sari. They call it the Sidi Pallu, no, the Gujarati style,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
many a times they think, oh, are you a Gujarati? Because I've worn my sari in that style. So I just tell them I'm an Indian. I've lived in many of these states, and I know their tradition. I know their culture. We enjoy their cuisine. So we just represent India in its totality.
Right. Right. You actually assimilate the essence of India in the true sense of the way,
Yes.
because I mean, literally, the entire nation is your home. So
Yes.
Shakuntala, coming to the fateful day of on October 30th, 1999, during the operation of the Faisalabad, could you take us back there and tell us what happened?
Yeah, so I can never forget that day. It was a Saturday, and I'm a teacher by profession. So I was just doing my lesson plans and all. We are supposed to do our lesson plans and submit it the following week. So I was busy with that, and my kids were watching the television and all that. So at that point of time, my friends in the apartment, in the quarters, they just rang the bell and they all came in. So I was very happy to see them. So I just warmly welcomed them, and they sat, and then I just asked them if they would like to have something and all. And they were not reciprocating my smile and my warmth and my affection. So I was thinking, maybe they're taking some time to get used to the place or something like that. So I was like, okay, kya lenge aap and all. So then one of the officers just told me, ma'am, we're very sorry to tell you that, sir, I mean, Ajit sir is no more. So I mean, it was a shock for me. I mean, I just spoke to him the previous evening, and we were just planning to have a nice vacation, on his leave, and our kids were like, I mean, Nirbhay and Akshay were also highly thrilled, seeing that their papa is going to come and all that. And I just didn't believe, Sonal. Seriously, I said I will not believe this. And Sarfarosh was the last movie we saw together, and in that, how it was like, so many bullet wounds, and still he's alive and fit. And also I said, this was the sentence I used, एक bullet से किसी का जान नहीं जाता है करके. And till date, you know I just cannot forget that day. Very shocking.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know when your life, it suddenly turned the other side. And I've never, even in my worst of dreams or nightmares, if I have to tell, I never thought that, it will happen to Ajit. So it was very sudden, and it took me some time to, sort of sink in. I would just, without any emotion, I would just be blank. And yes, I used to focus on the kids, and that's how I try to make up for the grief.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's, I don't even know how to even, how would you would have cope up with the situation during that time, but what happened actually in the field itself? What
So, what happened in the field was, the CEO, the commanding officer of 25RR, they have their meetings, and during the briefing with all the other officers and JCOs, he was just telling them about, some inputs about some, terrorists trying to enter this place. So it was, so while doing it, after discussion with all of them, it was Ajit who volunteered to go for that. And the terrain there is Surancoat and other areas, Faisalabad and all. It's very rugged, and it's like a valley. You go up and down and all that. So uh, there was this one sniper who was sitting on top, and he just aimed his forehead, Ajit's forehead, where the part where, the the bulletproof helmet, their jacket, and all that. So somewhere in the temple area is what he got shot, and his buddy took many of his bullets. He's still alive, and he's still
oh,
working in Hyderabad. So for security reasons, I'm not, you know, informing or sharing the names of those Jawans there, and the personnel there. So he got a few bullets, but we lost Ajit because of his severe blood loss, and the firing was going on. Generally, see, if he is got hurt, we may think, why was he not evacuated and given medical treatment. It was very difficult for them to take him out of that operation itself, because there was bullets firing from all sides.
yeah.
So it was just like, if I have to tell, like in the war movies or the thrillers, like how you feel, the bullets going left and right, and you're trying to escape the bullets. And so, and the only thing I convince, or I tell myself, is he died with his boots on, and he has made us all proud.
Absolutely. He has made the nation proud because, like you just said, that he actually volunteered for it. So,
Yes,
in the true sense, he is the brave heart, and we are where we are for, completely hats off to you, your family, and him. I wish it was different, but so how did you put everything together? Because that's, just listening to you is, just kind of giving me goosebumps. I can't imagine how difficult it must have been for you to, bring about the entire family together. Your kids were very young at the time. So how
yes.
did you put your life back together?
See, Sonal, this was not expected at all. Okay, so my elder son was 7 years old, and younger one, Akshay, was 5 years old. And if I have to describe you the scene or the funeral, they were running around the house when the funeral was going on. They were so oblivious of it. And so I, like, okay, now it's whatever has happened is happened. We cannot undo it. And since I had my professional life, I just sort of channelized my grief, I must say, into my strength, in the sense I would focus on my career, and I would focus on the kids and my family. I'm very grateful to my in-laws, and my mom and my brothers, who have been very, very supportive with me. And that is how, and also the whole of 18 Madras unit and other postmates of Ajit school types. He studied in Sainik School, Bijapur. So they have literally taken care of everything for me. And I just, like, for example, the unit people came over, they took care of all my paperwork. And after a month or so, they just gave me files, ma'am, this is where you have to document your uh, pension papers. This is where you have to document your residential, whatever the quarters you are living in, and this is where you will have to file in your general, whatever the mails. So lot of hand holding was done by the unit, and even till date they've been very, very supportive. So
And even both your sons are also a part of the armed forces, in spite of what happened. How did you find that courage? And it requires a lot of dedication to the nation to be able to make a call of sending both the sons in the armed forces. Uh, what made you? How did you do it? And what made you actually take that call again?
it was not my call at all. It was their wish, and even I had never dreamt that they would go in this line. So, like, like any parents would do it, I would sort of uh, always try to find out what is their goal, or what is it they want to become. And I must say that I am not bragging about myself, but I have really taken pains to bring them up. Having said that, I had, exposed them to all the careers. It, army, if it was in army, I had taken them to NDA. It was, if it was for an engineering stream, I had taken them to IIT Chennai. So like that, I had, as a counselor, I would, take them to all these places, and I left it open for them. So I think it is there in their genes, and that is how the elder one decided to join his father's unit. And the younger one, again, after completing his engineering, he joined the Indian Navy. So it was all their choice. And as a parent, and this is my suggestion to all the parents, never curtail your kids ambition just because you want to be comfortable. Acha, mere saath kaun rahega, who will be with me, when I'm old, if you go, like, now I'm all alone, and the kids are busy with their own work and training. So if I have to be selfish about myself, thinking about my own self, who's going to be there with me, I will be all alone, then we are literally clipping their wings, which I didn't want to do that. And they know that I'm independent, so that's how they took on that profession, and I'm happy and proud about it. So the rest is all the mercy and the grace of the God. He's always there with us. He,
So, I mean, you were able to actually create a perfect balance. I mean, you gave them enough space, you nurtured them, you made them who they are today, and they, like you said they went back to make their father proud, and the mother proud. So hats off to them. Like I said earlier, it's because of the people. It's because of people like you. We are where we are, integrated, solid, standing secure. Uh, Shakuntala ji, I would really like you to, send a message out to all the women there, because what you have been through and how you have come out, it takes a lot. So what is that one thing that you would like to convey to all of us, that you know that keeps you going, that gives you that spark, to be able to be where you are today in spite of what happened?
So I just want to tell all the women and also the parents that we have to, whether it be a boy or a girl, they have to be independent. They have to be capable of standing on their own feet. And I'm very happy, if you see the women who are now getting enrolled in the army, it is amazing. So there is no particular profession where women have not entered and proven themselves. So at home, if I have to tell you, and it's like a confession that my boys, if they when they are at home, if they have a guest, they are the ones who go into the kitchen and take a tray with a few glasses of water and serve it to the guest. There is no like only it's like a woman's job or a men's job. So I have treated them like both, like equal. Girls job also you have to know, there's nothing called girls job, but all these chores also you have to know, and you do your profession also. Similarly, even for the women, like you should uh, have your own identity, and you should pursue your passion, and there is no limit to learning, so continue learning and upskilling yourself. That's the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Beautiful. I actually, in your introduction, you mentioned something about nurturing creativity and excellence. Could you tell us a bit about that? I was very curious to know what exactly that is. And it also looks like Shakuntala will have to take separate lessons as far as parenting goes from you, because
Yeah,
I think
yeah, yeah.
it's your value
Yes, yes.
system that has made them who they are. So separate lesson on that.
Yeah,
But
very
could you?
much. I can do it. I can do it. It's my pleasure. On parenting, I would love to do it. So, nurturing creativity and excellence is just that, how we should just open up our minds and not restrict the imagination of whoever it is, and just set our goals. Break the ice ceiling, glass ceiling, and things like that. That's how it is, and with all the pandemic and all now coming up, I'm sure all of us have learned it. They say now it's not the age of specialization; it's the age of agility. You should know a little of everything. Like, for example, if I have to quote you, so you are there, you're running a show, and you're doing it all by yourself, which is, you know, it's a good skill. So, and you have done it. So that's how it is. So there's you have to just explore yourself, and there is no limit to our intelligence and our talent. It's all latent, so we just have to explore and come out of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So actually, this chat show started. They gave me a push. The pandemic actually gave me a push. I'm by profession, I'm a software engineer, software
Mm.
engineer,
Huh.
come entrepreneur, and now I'm here doing a chat show. So you're absolutely right about the creative aspect of it. You
Yes,
really just to let it go, and there is never a time when you cannot rediscover yourself. Actually, so yes,
absolutely.
that creativity flows within us all the time. We just have to nurture it. We have to give it enough space to take its own shape and form, and just go with the flow.
Mm.
So it was beautiful talking to you, Shakuntala ji. If there is anything, I have asked you enough questions, but if there is anything that you would like to say to the audience before I wrap up, I would love to hear it from you.
So I just want to tell you all that, as you said, you saluted all the soldiers and the martyrs family. I would also like to, salute all the soldiers who are there in the borders, working 24/7, trying to protect our nation, and all the martyrs, for their families. May God give them the strength. that loss is something which cannot be repaired. That vacuum will always remain in their life. It's only, I just pray to God to give them the power to, bear the loss and give them the strength to move on in life.
Absolutely. Yes. On that note, Shakuntala ji, this is again a very strong message to all the women out there. Also, since Women's Day is coming, her courage, her resilience, her dedication, her way of looking at life is inspiring. It's very motivating. I am definitely taking a lot from you today. I am so honored to have you with me on the show, Shakuntala ji. On that note, again, hats off to all the armed forces out there for making our life so beautiful. Thank you. This is Jess Sonal signing off.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.